2, 3. I want you to close your eyes and imagine a place where there's no violence or crimes. Now that you have that image, I'll add gangs into this place. What do you think of this place now? Is it peaceful? Having gangs in the Chicano community is life-threatening because you can't predict what they might do. They could cause violence and threaten anyone who disrespects the entire gang or one member. My name is Julio Santos, and my purpose of my speech is to persuade you why gang violence should be stopped. I grew up living in the gang violence in my family. I have an older cousin who's 4 years older than me. He is smart and hardworking. His academic standards was really high because of him being in sports. Towards his last year of high school, he started to mess up and began to affiliate himself with gangs in a gang called Paca 13, a gang in San Fernando Valley in the city of Pacoima. At the very young age, he started to get into trouble with the police and stealing and causing violence in the streets so he could represent the gang Pacas. Gangs are a group of children, adolescents, and young adults who share a common identity and are involved in wrongful and delinquent activities. These activities also known as gang violence, which we need to make a stop because of kids joining in a young age. The reason why gangs are a threat to the Chicano community is because the gangs in the U.S. because of the guns in the U.S. It is easier to get a hold of guns off the streets in or out of our community. In a video by CBS News, they talk about how crimes rose in 2015 at Los Angeles. Here's a video right here.
Violent crime spiked about 20% in the nation's second largest city. Property crime was up 10%. Ben Tracy is there.
Multiple shootings in the area.
2 drive-by shootings last night in Los Angeles left 1 man dead and 2 others wounded. So far this year, there have been 280 homicides in LA, up 10% from last year. The number of rapes increased 8.6%, and aggravated assaults jumped more than 27%.
The spike in crime, I don't understand.
Iona Diggs has lived in South LA for more than 60 years. Her neighborhood has seen 74 more people shot in 2015 compared to last year.
What kind of crimes have you seen increase? The shootings, drive-by shootings.
So serious stuff.
Serious stuff.
All 21 LAPD divisions are reporting crime increases. That's notable because crime had fallen dramatically in Los Angeles in the past decade due to a crackdown on gang-related crime. Police attribute some of this year's crime spike to a resurgence of gang violence this summer. In August, LAPD Commander Philip Tinkerides told CBS News about a 2-week span in South LA when 50 people were shot, 15 of them homicides.
There were internal gang disputes, there were love triangles, there were domestic violence. Most everything involved gangs in some way, shape, or form.
Since then, the LAPD has stepped up community policing and made 3 times as many felony arrests. Iona Diggs says she's not going to let gangs take back her neighborhood.
Don't say this is your hood, because it's not. It's ours, you know. And I'm going to protect my hood, as you say.
Now,
As you saw in the video, there are some people making a stand about gang violence in our community. We need more people like Iana Diggs standing in her front porch ready to stand up for her ground. There are people that think gangs is a positive output in our community and the media, making terms gang demeaning. In the article called Gangs Are Good for Society by Casper Walls, his thoughts on gangs is healthy for the society to have. In Wall's article, he states, "For me, gangs is simply another word for tribe. In essence, gangs are good for society. In a healthy state, they are about the formation of groups that operate under the ethic and moral codes of the codes of conduct upheld and enforced by the elders of the community. Wall's perspective on gangs is understandable on a certain point, but most of the gangs around the community want to be higher echelon than others gangs to claim more boundaries. There are a few ways that we can make a difference. Stop gangs violence in the Chicano community. Having prevention centers is one of the ways that make a difference in a gang. Violence prevention center like Claudia Boy Barrett states in the article, South Los Angeles, a therapeutic gathering spot where community members South Los Angeles looks at the end of cycle of violence by addressing trauma. She states the center is designed to be a therapeutic gathering spot where community members will have access to counseling, support teens groups up either with parents that are abusive, support groups, healing focus workshops, and exercise classes. Life could be hard. Teens growing up either parents that are abusive or not caring for their lives. Many teens look for help having family struggles, so they join a gang for comfort or security. This is where we come in and make a difference. Having more prevention centers in our community would lower the rate of young kids joining gangs. Having prevention centers would also moderate the community by people participating their time into the centers to help young teens. In conclusion, I mentioned how gangs are threatening the Chicano community because having guns and showing you a video of how violent crimes rates in 2015 had rose in Los Angeles. Because of the drive-by shootings, I also mentioned solutions by having more prevention centers. So to stand our ground, like Iana digs in the video. Now close your eyes. Having the thought of gangs in place you were thinking of before. Now I want you to imagine the prevention centers in your place. How is it looking now? Has it been improved? Having prevention centers in our community would help kids from joining a gang. My cousin right now is getting his life together, staying away from trouble, working and making sure he provides for his son. Remember, it is up to us to make a difference in our community. Prevent gang violence.